Hey cousins, welcome back to my channel. If you have been a cousin for some time now, then you know that I am primarily a wash and go girl. I probably do wash and goes 95% of the time with my wash day routines, just because I feel like twist outs and braid outs for my hair take entirely too long to not know what the results of it is going to be. Like if I'm doing a wash and go, I know almost immediately if it's going to be a good wash and go, if it's going to dry good. I know the definition that I'm going to get from the very beginning usually, and that's just because I've done them for so long, and also just because of the kind of hair that I have. Sometimes twist outs and braid outs just don't end up looking as full as I know my hair could be. So I am a wash and go girl primarily, and so because of that, I've had a lot of time to do a lot of trial and error with my wash and goes, and I get a lot of questions on how to perfect a wash and go and tips that I use to seemingly make my wash and goes come out perfect every time. It probably took me a good year when I first decided to go back natural. My hair journey and the story of my hair is on my channel, so if you guys want to know just the story of how I got to this place, just make sure that you subscribe to my channel and then you go check out old videos. But I will say that when I decided to go back wearing my hair curly, that it took me almost a good year. I would say at least 9 months solid before I felt comfortable that I had perfected my wash and go. But since I have been doing them for so long, I decided to come and give you guys just my top 6 reasons why your wash and go is not turning out probably the way that you want. So if you're interested in the things that I found to be true on why your wash and goes aren't working, then just keep watching. Okay, so the first reason that I found that your wash and go may not be working is because you're working in too big of sections. If you've tried and tried to do a wash and go and it just seems like you can't get the definition that you know your curls have, like you've definitely seen your curls more defined maybe in the shower or just in other hairstyles, and you just can't get that definition in the wash and go, definitely try working in smaller sections. Everybody's hair is different, and I know typically like 4 sections is the holy grail number of sections for a lot of hair gurus or a lot of naturalistas, but sometimes you may need more, just depending on the density of your hair, just depending on the texture of your hair, or depending on just really what your hair has gone through recently. Now I am a 4-section faithful girl. That's just because that's how I learned to do my own hair. I learned to do my own natural hair in 4 sections, and so now working in any less than that just feels like I can't really get to my hair. But every now and then I have to turn my 4 sections into 6, and that's just, it may be because I had a protective style and my hair is just a little bit more tangled than it usually is, or I'm using a different product and I really feel like it's not working through my hair, or I can tell that my hair is not absorbing in the product. It could be a number of reasons, but every now and then I have to use 6 sections, and that's perfectly okay. It's no law against saying that you have to use 4 sections. And if you're working in 4 sections and you're finding that your curls are not getting defined, first and foremost, break those sections into subsections. It is okay. Although I work with my hair in 4 sections, if you guys have seen my wash and go videos, those 4 sections never stay just 4 sections. I always work in sections within those sections when it comes time to define my curls. It is very easy to watch a YouTube video and you see your natural hair guru and they're just putting all the product on one section, and they're able to rake their fingers through just that section and move on, and that's okay. But I cannot do that. I've tried, and I've found that anytime I try to do what I see a YouTuber do on their channel and they're just working in a big section, I would love to be able to do that, but my hair is not having it. So always keep in mind what your hair responds to, and just because you see somebody working with that product in one section, that does not mean that you can only get away with one section, and it may suck. But I just found that even if I'm watching a video and I know I want to try the product that they're trying, and they're working in one section, I'm like, oh no baby, what is you doing? But it works works for them. I just know that I could not do that. The next reason I found that your wash and go may not work for you is that you're using products that don't work well with your hair type. If you guys know me, you guys know I do not like discussing hair type just because I feel like hair typing is relative. You can show me as many charts as you want, you can show me as many comparisons as you want, but no two people feel like a 4A is a 4A or 3C is a 3C or so on and so forth. And very early on in my curly girl journey, I just got really frustrated and I was just like, this is not helping me. This is really just dividing me, because by this I want to be this, but I'm this and I'm not that, and then people are telling me this, but I'm looking at my hair wet and I feel like it's that. The typical hair typing chart for me is useless. Like, it's pointless. I don't it hasn't helped me, and if it helps you, by all means, you know, that's great. But just know, whenever I'm talking about hair type, I'm not talking about that standard. I'm talking about actually how your hair behaves. If your hair is high or low porosity, I'm talking about if your hair is fine texture, or if you have dense hair, if you have thick hair. All that to me plays a much larger role in understanding your hair type than knowing like what shape curls you have. Me, I have low porosity hair, and when I say I have low porosity hair, I mean I got like
drop down to the floor and get low
porosity hair, and it is very frustrating, and I have found myself like googling ways to turn my low porosity hair into high porosity hair, and I mean, it's just my cross that I have to bear. But knowing that I have low porosity hair has made an extreme difference in watching other videos and knowing not only if that product is gonna work for me, but if the method that they're using is gonna work for me. If they have high porosity hair and I'm trying to watch their video for a tutorial and watching their technique, I have to understand that their hair is gonna behave totally different from mine. And this is when like chart hair typing really comes into play, and this is why I feel like it is useless when it comes to what I'm looking for in my hair journey, because you can have two girls that have 3C hair, and one of them has high porosity hair and one of them has low porosity hair, and their hair looks different and their hair behaves different. Just because they have the same shape curl pattern does not mean their hair is gonna behave the same way, and I had to learn that. And there are some popular YouTubers who I used to always look up to and try to get my hair to look just like, just because I thought that we had very similar hair types, and we do. But just from looking at their videos, I'm pretty positive they have high porosity hair and I have low porosity hair. So every time I was trying to do a method that they did, it just, my hair just didn't do right, and that just was a really big point of frustration, because you feel like you're doing something wrong. You're like, why this person has the same hair type as me, then why is what they're using on their hair not working for me? Why can't I just rake my hands through, you know, a full 4 sections and my curls be super defined like they do if our hair looks just alike? And it's because we have two different hair types. We have the same hair type, but we have two different hair types. So without making this video really long and getting like all off topic, if you guys want a video solely on like porosity and density and things like that and how to make that work for your hair, just let me know in the comment sections. But without getting really in depth into it in this video, if you're somebody with high porosity hair, your hair is gonna absorb products a lot quicker and a lot easier. Basically, your hair allows products and water to travel very freely through the hair shaft, and if you have low porosity hair, you don't have as many pores basically in your hair, so your hair is not letting products flow as freely. Both of them have their pros and cons. I really feel like I would rather have the pros and cons of high porosity, but again, that is not the cross I was given to bear. But basically, if you have high porosity hair, almost the minute that you put a product on your hair is gonna start working to absorb that product in. And we all know that when your hair is absorbing a product in very nicely and very quickly, then your curls are gonna define, because your curls are becoming moisturized, and it'll be just like, you know, if you were running your hair underwater. For me, that I have low porosity hair, I have to run my hair just under water. Not even talking about like products. I have to sit under the shower and let my hair run under water for an extremely long time before my pores will soak up the moisture in my hair to be fully saturated. Just understanding whether or not you have high or low porosity hair, that's going to be a big difference in the way that you apply your products and just the advice that you take. You can absolutely take advice from a YouTuber, especially if they have your same porosity level and all that, but you can still take advice from a YouTuber if they have a different porosity level, but you just have to know, remember the method that works for you. That is a major key. A lot of people feel like they have fails because they try to apply their products in a way that does not work for their hair type. So the next reason that your wash and goes are failing could be simply just because you're calling it a fail too soon. But if you're somebody who is just trying to learn how to perfect your wash and go, and that doesn't mean like getting halfway through your head or even getting all the way through your head, looking at your hair wet and being like, oh my God, this looks a mess, this was a fail, and washing your hair out. This is really important because there has been a number of wash and goes that I did just like trying new products where when my hair was wet, I was like, I know this is gonna be a fail. And then by the time my hair dried and I broke the gel cast, I absolutely loved it. Let it dry and play with it before you call it a fail. Because even with Eco Styler Gel, it is very easy. If you're not used to working with Eco Styler Gel, if you're not used to breaking a gel cast, fluffing your hair out, it is very easy to call an Eco Styler Gel wash and go a fail. The next reason that your wash and go may not be working is simply because you're drying it improperly. So there's a number of different ways to dry your hair if you're in a wash and go, or really to dry your natural hair, period. But there's a number of different ways that you can dry your hair, and all of them, if you do it wrong, really it can cause a problem with your wash and go. Of course, you can opt to air dry your hair. That's what a lot of naturals do. That's why they enjoy the wash and go, because they can opt to air dry. Me personally, over the years, I've gone out of the like air drying era just because I have low porosity hair, and if I were to air dry my natural hair, I literally would be air drying for 24 to 36 hours. That's how long it would take to dry my natural hair, especially now that it's gotten longer. I'm pretty much at waist length. It would take forever for it to dry. And then Eco Styler Gel, because it's so thick, it takes forever for it to dry, especially your roots. I usually either sit under a hooded dryer or I use a hooded dryer to start off my air drying process if I know that I'm gonna be outside in the summertime and I know I'm gonna be moving around and it's gonna dry. If you're finding that you love the way that your wash and go looks while it's wet, but over the course of like during the day you're air drying and you just feel like it just got frizzier and frizzier and frizzier, then I absolutely would suggest investing, if you don't have one already, investing in a hooded dryer. Hooded dryers really changed the game for my wash and goes. I feel like with the hooded dryer, what it does is it goes ahead and locks in whatever definition that you just put in your hair. It goes ahead and locks that definition in, locks that gel cast on before you really can get on about your day and like moving your head and letting your hair brush up against your clothes, etc., etc. But what I really like to do in the summertime is just using a hooded dryer to start off the process. I'll do my hair and then I'll sit under a hooded dryer for about 15 minutes and then I'll go on about my day. What this does is it goes ahead and almost zaps my hair, just zaps the top layer of my hair, and it creates a outer layer cast so that while the inside of my hair is drying, the outer layer is already protected and it's already, the definition is locked in place while the rest of it air dries. Along that same concept, I do occasionally diffuse my hair. I try not to diffuse my hair, but maybe a couple of times a month. If you're gonna opt to diffuse your hair, my number one suggestion is to not diffuse it as soon as you finish. Do something for about 15-20 minutes. Let your hair set in place before you go in with that diffuser. Personally, what I like to do again is sit under a hooded dryer for about 10-15 minutes, create the initial gel cast, and then go in and diffuse my hair, because I feel like, again, just that initial gel cast is gonna prevent me from doing so much manipulation that I'm gonna lose my curl definition. Gonna diffuse my hair, I always just start at the bottom and just work my diffuser around my hair before I press it up against my head. I do have a diffusing video. I'll leave a link in the description box below, but it is like 2, maybe 3 years old. So if you guys want to see an updated diffusing video, just let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to update that video for you guys. The next reason your wash and go may not be working for you is just that you haven't taken the time to really train your hair in a wash and go. It sounds weird, but I really feel like there is a such thing as training your natural hair. Listen, I'm not telling you guys anything that I haven't done. When I first started this curly hair journey, I decided that I was going to do wash and goes come hell or high water. Literally for a while, it definitely was like a routine. Day 1 wash and go, day 2, 3 puff. Day 1 wash and go, 2, 3. And just a little sub note to that, when you're first trying to master a wash and go, sticking with one line of products or sticking with a set of products that are giving you good results is gonna be your best friend. My holy grail products is the Paul Mitchell, the conditioner, and the Eco Styler Gel Olive Oil. That's what I have in my hair right now. That's what I know is gonna give me a perfect wash and go every time. And it's just because literally for like 3 months when I first was trying to learn how to do my wash and go, I would not touch any other products because it gave me a good wash and go and I stuck with what I knew. And the #1 reason why your wash and goes fail is simply that you're looking for someone else's wash and go on your head. It sounds crazy. I know it's easier said than done, and I know you guys are probably like, what? But really, that is what I found is the #1 reason why my wash and goes would fail, is because I was trying to get my hair to look like somebody else's when my hair can only look like mine. People call their wash and goes a fail is simply because it's not looking like what they expected their hair to look like based on some other expectation. Like my hair is never gonna look like chili in a wash and go. It's just not. Would love it to, but that's not my hair. And so I had to understand that my hair is just my hair. 2 things make a good wash and go. Only 2. Is your hair soft, which means is it moisturized, and is it matted? If the answer is yes and no, then you have a perfect wash and go. If your hair is soft, that means that it's moisturized. That means the products that you put in your hair did their job. Is it matted? That means was the product able to thoroughly distribute through your hair and enough to define it in a way that your hair is not a matted mess? If your hair is not matted and your hair is soft, you did a good wash and go. And yes, you can go into, oh, I want more definition and this, that, and the third. Your hair's definition of definition it may be something different than somebody else's hair, and no amount of manipulation is gonna give you a different hair type. And if your hair is matted, then that's just gonna go back to the very first tip that I did, which was making sure that you're applying your product in smaller sections, and then making sure that you're applying your product in a way that is conducive to the type of hair that you have. Don't give up, y'all. Like, do not give up. I honestly feel like everybody can master a wash and go, whether you have 3A hair or whether you have 4C hair. I have seen absolutely beautiful wash and goes on every single hair type that there is. It's just a matter of being comfortable with what your wash and go is gonna look like and taking the time to really master it. That's it, guys. If you've mastered your wash and go, leave tips in the comment section below for other people who are struggling with their wash and goes and feeling like maybe they are missing something or they're doing something wrong. Tell your cousins what your hair type is, and by hair type I mean whether or not you have high or low porosity hair, what density hair you have, and if you have fine or thick texture hair. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please do me a favor, share this video with somebody else that you think it would help. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, make sure that you follow me. I'm always leaving tips, new products that I'm trying, and just different things that I'm doing with my hair that I feel like may help somebody else, and that's the first place that you get it from, and it's easier for me to communicate with you guys on Instagram and things like that. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and turn your notifications on so you don't miss another video from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.